Denver Council District 2 2-Minute Talk with Councilman Kevin Flynn.
Hi, Councilman Kevin Flynn with your Council District 2 2-Minute Talk for September. September is budget month in the city of Denver. I'm outside the Par Widener room where just in a couple weeks we'll be having budget hearings for 2026. But as I'm sure you've heard, we're in a budget crisis. Come on in and let me talk to you about it. So as I'm sure you've heard, either on the news or maybe read in the paper or online, the city's in a budget crisis. This year alone, we've had a $50 million shortfall that we've had to account for. And for the 2026 budget, we're looking at $200 million in the hole. There's many, many reasons for this. We can get into that later. But for now, the city has tried to resolve this year's budget gap with furloughs of employees. There are mandatory furlough days depending on your salary level. My two aides have taken their furlough days, and because city council salaries cannot be cut by law, I've already written a check back to the city revenue manager to reimburse for my furlough days. So that's how we're accounting for this year. Next year is going to be a little tougher nut to crack. So we had a round of layoffs. We had 169 city workers who've lost their jobs. That was very painful. I've met a lot of city workers. Most of them are very, very dedicated, and it was just a tough week. But it wasn't as many as a lot of us expected. In addition, though, we added to that by eliminating from the budget this year and into next year, 2026, by eliminating more than 660 vacant positions, currently vacant positions that are budgeted, but which we're eliminating, so we no longer have to include those funds in the budget. That's going to go a long way to making up the difference. In addition, about 92 workers on the general fund, which is where the crisis is, we've been able to transfer them to special revenue funds or to enterprise funds where most of their job responsibilities are located anyway. That takes care of about 927 positions, and that will save about half of the $200 million hole in the budget for next year. Now the challenge is, how do we make up the rest? The core services that need to be maintained are going to be my top priority, and for me, that's always been public safety, quality of life. Start with full funding of our police, fire, and sheriff's departments. A city that doesn't feel safe is not going to be a thriving city. Next, when I look at our public works department, what they call Department of Transportation Infrastructure, are our streets being repaved, our potholes being filled, because quality of life is driven in part by the condition of our right-of-way and how people get around. What's the mobility? Trash pickup. We've already had some cutbacks there, as you know. Recycling is back to every other week. We've skipped a compost pickup in the last month just alone. So I want to make sure that those core services are maintained. And then finally, parks. And I think of parks as part of the quality of life infrastructure that absolutely is a core service. It's not a nice to have. I think our park system is a must-have. And so those are the things I'm going to look for. Starting September 22nd in this room, budget hearings will start, and all of the various city agencies will come in here and their department heads will present to City Council their proposed budget for 2026. I'll be looking very closely at whether those core missions are being adequately funded before we start talking about what to fund around the edges. You can participate in that either here in person in the Par Widener room, or you can watch it streaming on Denver Channel 8 or on your cable if you have the city cable system. Please join in, and tell you what, if you have any suggestions for where the city could save money, feel free to email them to me, and I'll see if they're worth bringing up to the group here. But please participate.